What's going on, guys? Your boy GMG. We're back with another video, and I just want to say shout out to my boy Chef Guns and Physical Gamers for being with me in the live stream yesterday for the Nintendo Switch presentation of 2017. We had a great fucking time. We was live with the viewers, the audience. The comments was fucking funny as hell. We had a great fucking time, but the presentation was garbage. And what I'm gonna do here is just explain to you a little bit about the presentation, give you guys my thoughts, and just break down what I think is going down with Nintendo and just the Switch console itself, how I feel about it, and everything that they announced. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, the presentation was god awful. 0 seconds to the ending of this bullshit. It was like an hour long, I believe, and it was just terrible. Now, mind you, it was only an hour presentation, and they barely gave us what we really wanted to hear, and that was games, in-depth specs of the console. Because for me personally, I wanted to know, just like what Xbox and Sony did at their presentations when they were showcasing their latest console, they broke down the design of their console and everything. And to be honest with you, even though I know the Switch is way weaker, or in my opinion weaker than the PS4 and Xbox One, I was still interested to see what really encouraged these people to, or what hardware did they use, what was heavily inspired in the technology and everything in depth with the console, because I thought it was a unique ass console for what it was gonna do and how it's gonna perform. And like I said, I didn't mind. I wanted to see that, even if it wasn't nothing crazy. But all they really told us was about a 720p display, has a HDMI and a display adapter, just to charge it, whatever the shit is. And then they went like fucking 30 minutes about Joy-Con controllers, which is the controllers that connect to the Switch. And I mean, I'm all cool with that. I think the Joy-Con controllers are unique as hell, being that they have motion control on it that connects to a tablet, which to me is actually very unique and dope as hell to have motion controls that go with a tablet onto your TV as well. But you spent 30 minutes on that. You could have literally spent like 5 minutes talking about it and then moved that portion of it over to the website and had them do display videos on that. No, what you did was you spoke bullshit throughout your whole show and then let all the real information that was needed to be said on your website, and the information that was needed to be said on this show that was moved to the website was all bullshit. That, like, it just pissed me the fuck off just to see everything that they were trying to introduce with this Nintendo Switch. The motherfucking translator needs to be fired. He needs to be put to rest because he was so fucking boring. It was ridiculous. The Japanese dude, no offense, he was like this, killing. He was like this. Nintendo Switch, la la la. The other guy, the translator, was like this. I felt mad uncomfortable.
So this is the Joy-Con controllers, and this is how you press the button. Now you're gonna play games and hope for the best.
That's how dude was talking as during the presentation, translating. It was super uncomfortable. The vibe was so dry in the show. The audience was dead. I believe the audience was fake. I don't know. I don't think they had a real audience. But god damn, that shit was just dry from the beginning to the end. Now, there was some stuff. I went into this not expecting to see heat, but I went into this wanting to know just a lot of information before I made my purchase or pre-order. And I did pre-order it, actually. Price is $300, which I'm just like, okay, fine. I think all their launch titles are $60, which I'm just like, I'm fucking mind blown by that, because half their titles I don't even believe they should be $60. And there was a lot of different services that they're providing that are paid, and I'm very upset at this shit. And I'm gonna go into that in a second. Now, mind you, I pre-ordered it, I put 50 down, and I put 5 on the $70 Joy controls. I have no problem with whatever accessory was priced at whatever price, because at the time that I seen somebody screenshotted me all the pricing of it, they didn't say basically, or I didn't know the event was over, so I thought we was gonna see more games and whatnot. But I think what heavily affected this and what threw people off was seeing the prices of just the console and the accessories and whatnot, and the games, and then seeing that there really isn't any heat to come at launch. Now, Zelda, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, is not gonna save or help the Switch at all. That's just one game, and we're talking about a launch game that's gonna come with that for a $300 console. Mind you, if this was $250, it would have been more on the safe side, because it's 3 years in now with this generation of consoles, so you would have been more safe. But they released it for $300, which I'm still fine with it. But seeing how much the other dock is like $80, you have the Joy-Con controllers that are like $79 together, and then separate are $50. Like it gets ridiculous after that with what they're trying to provide and how much they're trying to charge per service or per accessory. And I think that just threw people off, man. It threw me off a little bit too, but I actually didn't mind because I pay $65 for a PlayStation controller. I sometimes get a deal on it, and for video games it wasn't going to affect me because Amazon Prime I get 20% off anyways. Look, the lineup of games are weak. You can't talk about Xbox, you can't talk about PlayStation's games at launch, because there's something very different between all three of these consoles. Xbox and PlayStation already had an established market for third-party games. Nintendo Switch don't. The Nintendo brand don't really support much of that, especially on the Wii U. So of course they're going to try to market more of their first-party titles. And PlayStation and Xbox, even if they didn't have first-party titles, they had third-party titles that still supported more. And to be honest with you, on those two platforms, we noticed and we've seen already that mostly people don't even support the first-party titles. But I understand where people are coming from. People were like, oh, but Sony didn't have that many exclusives at launch. And you know what? You're right about that. But once again, what really is the focal point of the PlayStation launch was seeing the graphics. That was basically the biggest thing, seeing the Xbox One and the PS4. They pushed so much realism and graphics right before the launch, when they showed Watch Dogs, when they showed The Division, when they showed Destiny, when they showed Battlefield 4, Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Call of Duty Ghosts. Everything that they were showcasing and promoting was in terms of just graphics and performance and being at a higher fidelity and all that shit in resolution. That was promoting the PS4 and the Xbox One, and therefore those actually were more successful. But as far as the Wii U, it failed. And as far as the Nintendo Switch, what was to be expected and what people wanted to see was a lot of different games. They wanted to see variety of games, but we got hit with a bunch of bullshit games and just terrible service and business moves or business decisions. Now I'll say this, I'm still very impressed with the Nintendo Switch hardware, and it's dope to me, in my opinion, to see that the Joy controllers, even though they're very small, to be honest with you, I don't think I can handle these little fucking motherfuckers on my hand because my hands are too big. But to see that they got motion control technology in it, the type of tech that's in this controller, I can see why it's expensive. They come with their own little L1, R1, but they added so much in depth within these Joy-Con controllers. I'm impressed. But how are you gonna go so much in depth with this and can't even have voice chat capabilities inside the Nintendo Switch itself? You're meaning to tell me that, and it's crazy, look, I even got a Super Mario, boy, I'm so upset. You mean to tell me that they're gonna have a paid app for Nintendo for you to link up with your friends to voice chat? Now, I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect that. I did not, because remember, we heard rumors very early on last year that there was this type of capability of your phone being linked with the Nintendo, with the NX, and just something that was just very unclear. But now that we see it, I'm like, this is pretty pathetic. You mean to tell me there's no voice chat capabilities on your console, but if you download your app on the phone, which has limited services, meaning you got to pay for the rest of the service on that app, you have to buy the application in order to chat with your friends. But it doesn't get worse from there. I mean, it gets even worse even after that. Now, mind you, this is the shit that just bothered me. I wasn't even that sick when I heard that you have to pay to play online. And for now, we're gonna have a free trial up until the fall, where they release their pricing on their pay online service, their online service, I guess, for the Nintendo Switch. The shit that bothers me is that if you do not subscribe to their online service to play online, you can't play online, you can't get into online lobbies and online voice chat app, which, like I said, you have to link that app. You can't get exclusive deals, but you do get access to the Nintendo eShop. You can register and manage friends, share screenshots and whatnot. But you mean to tell me I can't even like voice chat with my friends online if I don't pay for the service? I don't understand. Plus the fact that you offering, it was just being overwhelmed with so much fucking prices that threw me off and threw off a lot of people. But I still, at the end of the day, was like, listen, I want to pre-order it anyway because I'm looking at the future. Even though fuck, at launch we don't got no real heat, except for Zelda. I know I'm gonna probably get some of these great games at the end. But like, holy fuck. So you mean to tell me that we're getting hit with a possibly $30 to $50 online service that we have to pay to play online? Also, if you want to get another controller, if you're playing with family and friends, I guess you want to pay $79. But the fact that even games like ARMS is $60, games like 1-2 Switch, I think it's $60. All these games are $60, and then a $300 console. Yo, you overwhelmed the fuck out of us with all this. Now, had it been that you had Mario Odyssey coming day one, that you had Mario Kart Deluxe coming day one, you have Zelda, and you have all these other games, and I guess you had like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's coming out day one, but had you had like some heat coming out day one, I think people would have tolerated the price more. Now, like I said, bringing up the point that people were like, oh, but PlayStation didn't have great launch games either. You got to remember one thing. This console is entering after a 3-year generation that started the PS4 and the Xbox One. So being that this console is coming in already, at the third year, almost 4 years after the PS4 and Xbox One. And if it's performing like this, where it doesn't even have heat, you think people are just gonna jump on that? What's gonna push people to go buy this if they know shit, this don't even, one, have that many third-party games out on it, and two, you don't even got heat as far as your first-party titles on it, and three, the prices is just looking ridiculous. Why would I pick this up? Why would I even purchase this unless you're just a true fan of Nintendo? Why would you go out your way to purchase this? That's why it was very important that they delivered on all aspects, as far as like the services that they want to do, pay to play online service, and just the games. I think the games would really threw people off, seeing that you had some garbage ass games being shown, and then you have the fucking nerve to hit us with all these different services that we have to pay for if we want to play online. Like, people were blind, yo. Like, you don't understand how important it was that Nintendo had to deliver on every aspect of the console, as far as what was the blueprints basically of this console, what it can do, which they did explain what it can do, and I was pretty impressed with it. The fact that you have voice chat capabilities, and you didn't even say if you had a virtual console coming soon, which is fucking ridiculous. You should have said that. But you fucked it, and you fucked up with the games. Like, you coming in 3 years after the PS4 and Xbox One, I think it would have been pretty important to have some heavy hitting games. Now, I do know the maker of Mario is the same maker of almost all your iconic figures, but shit, if you would have had games like a Donkey Kong game, Metroid Prime, even if you would have said, listen, we have Resident Evil coming back on the Nintendo. Like, if you had a Resident Evil game, like, this would have just at least opened eyes, like, wow, I'm impressed. This piece of hardware is performing like this, and it can run games like this. Like, you just didn't have that many games, man, and at launch it's gonna look pretty fucking dry. It's gonna look pretty damn dry at launch. And like I said, they got the nerve to like announce shit like wrist straps and act like that's innovative. Are you fucking serious? Now, I thought the reason why they added the voice app capability on your mobile device and not really on the consoles to prevent kids from ever getting into a situation with these pedophile motherfuckers, which would make sense. And that's granted, I would have been like, are you serious? Whatever, but fine. But the fact that the only way to really engage with your friends and talk to them, you gotta pay for that too? Man, listen, Nintendo, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like I said, I buy every console that comes out. I'm gonna buy every console. I can give a fuck less how anybody feels. I don't give a shit who says what to me about this. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you, eat shit. I don't give a damn. I buy what the fuck I want to buy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do that at the end of the day. But I'm also gonna speak on it. I'm purchasing something, I can speak on it. I don't give a shit. Nintendo, you need to get up with the times. You need to match off on this era. Like, fine, you don't like games that have violence, cool, but at least match up with the times. This is a very, and I don't know why people think this was gonna compete with the 3DS. They're not gonna cancel nothing on the 3DS, so stop that bullshit. But this was supposed to like really change how to like really like and innovate gaming. Now, not as far as graphics go, of course, because your mobile handheld for gaming was supposed to be that much different and unique with the Nintendo Switch. But as far as your homemade consoles, no, that wasn't going to take that away. I'm still got my Xbox One and PS4. But the Nintendo Switch was supposed to be that thing where you get it and you just like, yo, I can't wait. I can just play these games on this console, bring it with me on the go, and do what I got to do. But your launch titles are just so fucking garbage. I know the accessories are expensive, and just to go on about the Pro Controller, I know a lot of people complaining because it's $70. I'm still not going to complain that it's $70. Like I said, there's controllers, the Xbox One Elite controller, people spend at least $100, $150 on that. If you can buy scuff controllers, if you can buy all these other fuck ass controllers, you shouldn't be complaining about a damn Pro controller. That's all I'm saying. I can understand you buying one damn Joy-Con for $50, like what the fuck? But you gotta understand the technology that's in this controller. A lot of people may disagree. I don't even fucking care. I don't even like it, but damn, I guess the technology in this shit, they're charging that much money on it, and there's nothing you can do. And once again, you don't need to buy a Pro controller. This shit comes with its own controller dock so that you can connect your two Joy-Cons. So there's no need to really go out there and buy a Pro controller unless you really want the comfortability of using a controller, which I understand. But please drop your comments below. I still pre-ordered it alongside another pair of controllers, which are the neon colors. I really like them a lot. But let me know what you guys think, man. What was your overall impressions? How do you guys feel about the presentation? And what do you hope in the future, man? I hope they just drop heat, man, for at least the mobile scene for the Nintendo Switch. But I'm gonna be live streaming later, so hopefully you guys stay tuned, come through, and God bless all y'all. I'm out. Peace.
Brother kids and call it making it out. They never said it out opposing nothing. Chopping over thumping, making niggas start forwards jumping. When I catch that boy forward front, chop a blow stomach. Get his body, his soul be jumping. Come on, niggas, don't bluffing nothing. We gon' run up on you, we gon' get you in. Talk a lot like you serving bricks.